Hi guys! While the deck is still drying with a final layer of future floor wax, I'm turning my attention to painting the hull and the superstructural parts. For the choice of color I have in this project is actually the very nicely done camouflage set for Kriegsmarine. This is from Life Color. This is a 6-color set, giving you all the grays and the hull red that you need for most of the ships in action during World War II and prior to it. On the back side there is a pretty good explanation about how the ships were painted, and here on the side there is a key to what time frame each gray applies to. While there can be very intense fights about how ships were painted, especially in Kriegsmarine, I'm not getting into this debate. I'm not a fan of color shade discussion, but here's a shade card so you can see what kind of colors are included. I'll keep to the instruction of the Life Color set, using the 602 dark gray for the hull, the 601 for the superstructural parts, and the 605 dark gray for deck color. I will be using the hull red for the nationality markings painted on the turret roofs. I think this is a pretty nice color and it'll give the ship a nice look. So this is the color I'll be using. There are the parts, so let's go. Hi guys, welcome back to the cave. Just as promised, here's a little bit of an update about the things I've been doing, which were mostly painting and weathering with washes. So what I've been doing, you had seen the all the parts and sub-assemblies primed, and now there is a bit of a thing to battleships that everything is gray, and that makes painting a little bit boring to show, really. What I do is I take care that there's no dust on the parts, and then I just go ahead. I've been using the Life Color set for the Kriegsmarine colors, and they've been working pretty well. Just have to be careful that they're thinned properly, and then everything will be just fine. I followed the painting up with a layer of future floor wax, which is sealed on the colors nicely, protected them for the application for a wash. And just to give you a bit of an idea what's been going on, here is the actual sub-assemblies. Gotta get ourselves some more light back here so you can really see it. Okay, so here's the superstructure. I think I should get some kind of backing. So here's the superstructure. You can see the recesses everywhere are filled with neutral wash from MIG Productions, an animal color that should never be applied to acrylic paints because they'd wash it just right off. and there's more painting finished on the funnel. I've dirtied the funnel up somewhat more than the superstructure, just to give it a little bit more detail on the surface. Particular neat thing about the Graf Spee at the time I'm depicting her is that she was on neutral trade patrol in the Mediterranean, and so the ships could identify each other. There were their national colors painted to the turrets, and black, white and red were the German colors of the national flag at the time. And so these were applied in due process. I think this came out pretty good, and you can see the wash applied to all the recesses and carefully removed, as well all the finishing moves with the wash should always be vertical, with the direction of the flow of rain and such. I've as well put some more work on the boats. They are not yet finished, but this is the Admiral's barge. You can see just a little bit color added to make it more interesting. As said, it's not yet finished, it's just 2 more colors to it. And yeah, well, the big thing has been the hull. Of course, it's all the grays are in place. You can see there's 2 different types of gray for the hull and for the superstructure. Everything is finished with the future floor wax, and I have added draft marks in appropriate places along the hull, some white, some black, and there's the ship's badge right here. This one came with the kit actually, while the draft markings are from Begemot, 350th scale decals, quite thick really and pretty yellow. You can see they're not sealed, and I will have to add more future to seal them in, and hopefully a little bit of the yellowish color will disappear. Here you can see there's white ones at the stern. Everything has been finished so far, but there's no wash on the hull yet. That's the next thing to come after applying the next layer of future. All right. While the hull is still drying, I've painted all the kit's parts in a layer of flat coat, and as most of the parts are just uniformly gray, it's very difficult to make out all the detail and facets of each individual item. You can see the washes pretty neatly applied around the doors and along the gun barrel and the hatches, but there is a lot of corners that can't be really seen, and we want to help the eye to find these edges. This is important both for presentation on the internet and in a model show, because the lighting conditions usually are not the best. So what I do is I take colored pencils like this, usually a little bit darker than the underlying color, and I just trace all the edges very lightly with the color, and should be careful not to touch the big surfaces, but I hope this shows on the video. Tracing all these edges will help the eye to get a certain perspective on things, a better perception of depth, and this really helps making the model look more three-dimensional. Sorry, the paper backing is shifting around, so I have to try to hold it as well. So, alright, and with more definition coming on, there's a better perception of depth. The kit part. Now, to make things a little more interesting, I don't know if this will show on the video, but it does show on the live model really. I take white and just trace the upper edges again very lightly, just so lightly as to add some color over the darker one. And this is a really highlighting in the best sense of the word, because it's only in the high parts of the model where you should do that. You should not do it on the sides or on the lower parts. Yeah. I don't know if this really shows in the video now, but this really does a very, very neat trick in giving the model more depth in detail. Okay, this I will be repeating with pretty much everything I have painted so far, and so this is going to keep me busy for a couple of hours. Stay tuned. Bye.